Hey guys, and welcome back to BeardYGO. So today is my birthday. I finally hit the big 3-0. And so in this video, I just want to go through a couple of things with you guys. First of all, we have got Wild Survivors in stock on the Duelist market. So you can use the code BEARD5 for 5% off your cart as well. So that is the one thing. Next thing is we have got states championships coming up this weekend. And so I just want to go through a couple of the top deck stuff as well as, just a couple of counters and stuff that you could be using against these strategies. So yeah, let's go. First deck we have got Super Heavy Samurais. Super Heavy Samurais is probably the best deck right now, seeing a ton of play. And so with super heavies, there's a lot of stuff that you can actually do against them, which is quite nice. I found that the deck is actually quite fragile if you hit them in the right spots. So yeah, let's have a look at the first counters. So we have got Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird probably the best hand trap right now in the format. Like it basically just stops your turn there if you have no other follow-up. Otherwise, the super heavies will probably just end up on like a Baron or something, or maybe if they hard drew a Regulus, they'll have that as well. Ghost Ogre, really, really good card. So basically, you want to drop the Ogre on the Link monster, the Scarecrow, um, so that they can't even reborn their Piercer. So don't even think about trying to like draw them or anything as well when they've got no body on board, because Gamma is a really really big thing right now. Then the next card we have got is DD Crow. DD Crow can also be used to banish a Soul Piercer from the grave so that they can't recover that. Use that effect on the effect of the Link Monster to revive it as well, and then they won't be able to bring it back and go into a Baron play. Next up is Dark Ruler No More. So Dark Ruler is basically a blowout against this deck unless they are running Spell Canceller. So if they go for the Spell Canceller line, then you won't be able to activate Dark Ruler. However, if they don't, then most of the time you'll be able to activate Dark Ruler. They don't play any back row or anything like that. So you just have to worry about the hand traps that they've got in hand, but you can basically negate their full board for free. Then, if they are running the Spell Canceller, I would suggest having a look at Pancratops or Castera Fenrir, because those are quite nice big bodies that can easily just be summoned without being negated by Regulus or Baron or something like that. And then you can follow up with a Dark Ruler, for example. Pancratops and Fenrir also are really good cards to beat over the 3 material Apollosa that they also make. And then that basically means that you've outed 3 monster negates, plus then you can bait out a fourth one. Especially with Pancratops. Pancratops is just so good that you can, just summon it and then attack over the Apollosa, use the effect to target either a Regulus or a Baron to pop. That's going to trigger another negate. And so you've already, with one card, outed half of their negates that's on board, basically. Then Fenrir as well. Same thing with Pancratops. And yeah, there's also a really, really cool thing that you can also use, which is Lava Golem and Kurikara. So Lava Golem's really good. Lava Golem usually outs the Baron as well as the Regulus, and you've only got to worry about the Apollosa if they're going that route, or they've got the Spell Canceller, and if you've got something to follow up or you don't really have to run the spells or anything like that, then Spell Canceller is quite easy to get over. Kurikara, you basically are going to bait your opponent out so that they use their monster effects on field, and then you just tribute over their stuff, and that's basically just how you're going to be breaking their board. So definitely have a look at these cards when you are facing against Super Heavy Samurais. Moving on, we have got Pearly. So Pearly is a deck that basically ends on X-Pearly Nor, as well as, you know, just being able to extend through a couple of things. Plus the Nor will have like 5 materials and then it's unaffected. Plus it's good interruption as well. Now, usually they'll do this, and you won't be able to nib them at this point because they don't really have to like summon a ton to get to this. However, what you can use, which is your Ash Blossom, you can use on, you know, the my friend Pearly, so that they can't get those exact searches they want. Ghost Ogre also really, really good on my friend Pearly as well, so that they can't have that on board to have that recursion as well. Plus, it stops the search. Ghost Mono is really good against the monsters, the 2 level ones, especially against the newer one that we got out, which basically is hard once per turn. The first Pearly monster is, you know, not once per turn, so they can bring that out again and continue playing. Whereas Pearly Lily, as I said, is once per turn. Then, when they're ending on the X-Pearly Nor, you can Santa Claus it or you can Kaiju it. So, easy way to just get out of that board and then you basically home free from there. Another really, really cool tech is Retaliating Sea. So Retaliating Sea is basically there, so when they activate any of their Pearly quick play spells to summon a monster from the deck, you chain Retaliating Sea, and then it's basically Macrocosmos. Now, that hurts Pearly so much, and the cool thing about Retaliating Sea is that when it gets destroyed, then you can, well, it just needs to be sent from the field to the grave, so you don't have to worry about it being destroyed or anything like that. But it'll search you Contact Sea, which is also really good pick against Pearly, because you could then use the Contact Sea when they summon, and then they can't exceed summon except for using the Contact Sea. They won't be able to link, fusion, etc., etc., but it's an exceed based deck, and that deck is not utilizing anything that Contact Sea can be exceed with. So using Contact Sea is really, really good. Flying Sea is also a good option against them because it basically just says that player cannot exceed summon at all. So that basically puts them in a point where they've got Flying Sea on the board and it's basically just pause turn. Moving on to the next deck, we have got Kashtira. So Kashtira is a very, very threatening deck, and so you want to either, you know, have them play safe and go into an Arise Heart, which is easier to out. However, it's got a massive Floodgate ability where it's basically Macrocosmos. Then, if they're gonna go their full combo, then sure, you can nib them and everything. But the full combo can lock you out of your zones and stuff. So that can be very threatening. So the first cards they're going to have a look at is Artifact Lancia. So because Kashtira banishes a lot and, you know, uses that banishing to get off, basically, or go off. Yeah, get off. Artifact Lancia is really good. Just can't banish. Secondly, we've got Kurikara, so you can bait out the monster effects on the field. For example, if they're going into an Arise Heart, they'll have the Arise Heart effect that'll be used in your turn when you're trying to bait it out. Then you can just tribute over it, and that's also really good. Imperm is pretty decent, especially going second, I would say, against, you know, like an Arise Heart or something like that. That would be much better. Veiler can only be used on the opponent's turn, so make sure that you hit something really, really important. I would prefer to hit something like the Rise Heart, so that they can't really get that off properly. Then Ash Blossom, you know, you can ash quite a couple of things, so you, but the biggest thing to ash would be the Theosis. So definitely leave the ash for Theosis. Then we've got Flying Sea as well. Flying Sea, basically, you can just bring it out. They can't exceed summon. It's also an exceed based deck. However, they do play like, you know, Ash Blossom to go with like a Fenrir to go into a Baron or something like that. So they can go into synchros, and they can also go into links like Donna Dagger for Hire. And so when you go flying C, they're going to have to commit to a Donna basically, and then they won't be able to, um, you know, really extend unless they tribute over the flying C and another Kashira monster for a normal tribute summon and then continue from there. However, it does slow their plays down quite a bit. The same thing with Contact C as well. They're going to have to use that Contact C in order to enter their extra deck basically, and they're going to have to go into like a Donna for Hire again. So they'll be using resources where they necessarily don't want to be using resources, and also leaving a monster on their board like a for hire link is quite horrible for them, because they do want to have a board with nothing, especially like if they're going into like their second turn or stuff, you know, the follow up and all that type of stuff. These two cards slow them down quite a bit. Moving on, we have got Santa Claus and Gameciel as well. So same with Pearly. They end on the Rise Art a lot of the times because they don't want to get nibbed. So Santa Claus, really, really good, as well as Gameciel being very good. The thing about Santa Claus, as you can see, it is a little bit bigger here on the screen. Santa Claus is really good because the Kastera deck can also bring Nightmare Corruptor Ibli to your side of the field, which means you can't summon except for link summoning, and that really, really sucks. Like it locks you out from special summoning from the main or anything. So you have to get rid of that Ibli, and the reason Santa Claus is really good is because you can tribute summon it. So tribute summon Santa Claus using the Ibli, and that is basically it. You've outed the board, and yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next deck, we have got Branded. So Branded is also considered to be one of the top decks this format, and it's because of the new support that they got. So now they've got a little bit of a synchro engine as well, and so the cards to counter this deck is pretty straightforward as well. So we have got Lancia again. So Lancia is there to basically prevent them from banishing, so they can't go into like a I think it's Albion, either Albion or Lebellion, can't exactly remember right now, but one of those two does the banishing in order for them to get a fusion summon off. So you can chain the Lancia in chain to that, and then they basically won't get that fusion summon off. Imperm, really, really good. Drop the Imperm on a Albaz if you're going first and they have to hard normal that. Drop the Imperm on the Aluba as well. Imperm on Aluba, really, really good. A lot of times, you know, if that's the only thing they've got, that's literally going to be their board, Aluba. Veiler, same thing. Ghost Mourner as well. The thing with Ghost Mourner is that a lot of times they will use that monster that was negated, and so you get to inflict damage to them as well. Ash Blossom, leave the Ash Blossom for Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion is the most powerful card in that deck, and sure, they've got other ways of, you know, going off after that. You know, you got Quem, you've got Cartesia. However, that allows them, or that forces them to use extra, you know, resources, which is not really good. Then Contact C, again, they're going to have to use the Contact C in order to, you know, fusion summon. And a lot of people are not running stuff to use the Contact C as a fusion material, so you can actually lock them out quite hectically over there. Retaliating C is another one. You drop that as soon as they activate the Branded Fusion. It's Macrocosmos. Now they have to play through a couple of other things, and they've got to basically waste resources in order to out the Retaliating C or to make an optimal board. The next part is DD Crow and Ghostbell, and this is specifically for the Gimmick Puppet line. So if they're playing Gimmick Puppet, or if they're playing, let's say, the Ra's Disciple, then, you know, drop the DD Crow on them or drop the Ghost Bell as soon as they want to bring that to your side of the field. So I know even in Super Heavy Samurais, we've got a play where you now go into the new Albion, I think it's the Sanctified Dragon, and then you foolish the Gimmick Puppet with the Gimmick Puppet link, and then in the draw phase you can basically just Gimmick Puppet lock your opponent. So the nice thing about that is that the Albion does target, and so you can DD Crow it. However, Ghost Bell is a much more well-rounded card for stopping that effect. So yeah, guys, that is basically it. I want to thank you all for staying tuned to the channel, and don't worry, I have not forgotten about the 500 sub giveaway. I will be revealing who won that as soon as States is over. So if you're going to States in Gauteng AI Fest, make sure to come pop by, say hi, and yeah, let's have a good one, guys. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.